That's it. I must have it. Given so, it can be solved all the mysteries. Knowingly disguise, as if the truth of the murder demon Onda is to give throw in front of the justice center strong lump in us. Would be ironic retaliation means that what? Akechi then willing to have mercy of the enemy. In fact, whether that was not the mercy for the enemy. Indeed, one was not a likely Kangetsuki of strange old man magic. No, wait, apparently there is a place which has not yet fallen to the full earth. Old man that does not even meet is. Well, why was able to see through the disguise of Akechi? So, that moron's children like a lumpen cannot have such. I wonder if the songs during the just there, you have side by side shoulder to the car. Not a stupid Akechi about not Miyabori it, while horizontal cutting the hero of the darkness, while the Omoimegurasu and their Rithisser. Eventually, the horrible thought was enigmatic blend to the head of the Akechi a spark up what it was so. Akechi is about murmured involuntarily aloud, received a severe shock. Then, oh, I was the ridiculous. But what that's wisdom of the devil. Also expected of the detective, I did not have not shiver in a terrible illusion. I might the unexpected longer meet the deadline. But, whether also to unexpected meet the deadline. Only do our hands must try devotion. He Yanivani, in the darkness, while stumbling on the roadstones, began multiplying like hotcakes. It began to run like a tepodom aiming the city. It exceeds the bridge of wide concrete. There was a house there anymore. Before long, late-night train track, such as the ruins, Potson and the public telephone is built in the Yatsutsuji. He was so torn off the door, and into the box, while exploring the coin pocket, removed suddenly handset, the back of the back. On the one hand, Akechi Detective Agency, Akechi human, disguised as Leopard. Starting put the scapegoat doll Fumio's in the car. So also Kamiya youth of the incident requester went and pulled up to the first home as one. After we're alone with three young Kobayashi boy and maid of Fumio's and the passenger of Akechi. Wife. Fumio's as I have commanded so as to tightly lock the door of the front and back to Kobayashi boy. Yourself homebound to the second floor of the bedroom. I had extra precautions over the key from the inside. The small table bedside of bed. Even handguns that put the balls had been prepared. It was a long night that was unusually tense. Is drastic stratagem of the master will hit the well fig. I wonder by chances not such thing as failure. Onda as well. Nanny will grasp in one of the also first and night to his father. I wonder not his aeration so much better. Akechi was of skills of Fumio's or fully believe in, but did not have not worried about truly. Around 10 o'clock in the evening, there is a phone call from Akechi of destination, and Kobayashi boy answer the call opening. Onda the case peace of mind because I caught successfully. Go out in the future search towards the father. Might be a little late. Was that phone is very far away, but was low enough not hear good voice. Kobayashi boy without doubt separately, but Toritsui it to the place of Fumio's second floor. However, just when the bell of the telephone rang, as readers know, question Kogoro Akechi is human beings of pretending to be a leopard, was walking back and forth through a dark road in front of the immediate office. It was of course false phone, but for someone as what would have been such a prank. This is the back of mischief. Well, what kind of horrible meaning had been hidden? Anyway, also when I was just about an hour, the doorbell rang. Keta Tamashiku. It does not mean that there is a customer in this late at night. To think that the teacher is not a difference in your way. Opened the door to put over the front door as Kobayashi boy fly. The I stood there was a really Akechi detective. However, this would be strange fude that what well, go out as it is at the time went. Makeup of ugly people beast. Face was bony wearing a bare painted thin black. Waiting red lips. Horrible mouth that includes dentures. Such as fang. On top of that strange fute. Woman of one of couture has been faced with a tired is under his arm. Kobayashi boy and see it, but became cold feet involuntarily as Hatcher. Come to think, well, actually was not anything. Akechi that are having is not a living human being. I only mannequin doll that was used to decoy in order to capture the Onda. Welcome home. Kobayashi boy was politely greeted the master. I this doll. The Pearl River me keep putting into the wooden box of the best eye because I'm coming to pick up the doll shop later. When Akechi passed the doll to Kobayashi, I went up on take off your shoes. Wooden box of dolls is put to the end of the road of a dark corridor. Kobayashi et Ajira, carrying a mannequin, the rear view to go to the place of the wooden box. Akechi has had some reason patiently watching. Soon determinedly and it's go chasing after. And whether you cuckoo, such as hugging the boy from behind and I think, to open the bottom of the door. I went into the maid room. Detective for what piece? What was such a imitate? But was it really strange? After a while, he left the maid room alone. Went up to two people in the bedroom. Oh, welcome home. In the top of the stairs, I met Katari and Fumio's. Since she seems to go home of master state, it opened the bedroom that had been holed up, was for the pickup was trying to descend to now below. Akechi remains answered, oh, went into the bedroom standing ahead. Kobayashi also everyone did not if Fumio's asked the dubious face. No, the Kobayashi was told her a little errands. Pearl River comes from good to hear. For dentures for disguise voice of Akechi sounded like a different person like I hate is good to Nisaru wash you. Soon facing such terrible shape. No, not that far from it. Anyway the Pearl River went to the room. I have a story to you. Then, two people went to the bedroom. To say that the bedroom, because they are also used as the living rooms. Fumio partitioned the room by a curtain. While in bed, on one desk, table, makeup mirror, in such as the number chairs orderly rests and it had desk lamp on it of the desk, are out against the thin blankly. No, good as it is. I'm dark it is good. Fumio-san, and press the wall of the switch you try the ceiling of the electric lamp. Akechi is some reason to stop it. I sat down in a big armchair. Fumio missed a relative to it. Get to the small size of the chair. Quote. I would have Nasu tired you, man. I know Leopard's scapegoat has worked well. Fumio-san, said the audacious stratagem to praise. Yeah, I jumped down a cab. When it appeared in front of the guy, it was really thrilling. Entirety of human leopard has two dogs. Because I was postponed and face to face. Akechi is the ugliness bizarre human leopard face that became a shadow of shade. He laughed and Nitanita. I would have been surprised. Z was down. Miserable face. And, NDE my pistol is aimed. Yatsu's handsome not out also foot. As it is a signal. Do it, but I was handed over to the detective who had ambush. Well, by now it has been groaning in the basement of the Metropolitan Police Department. You do think so? Akechi was the strange words. But so to only. Foo. However, I'm not so. You do wanna talk to you is gonna such that thing. I tell the truth, Onda as I ran away. Oh dear. Fumio's beautiful face was staring at the speaker as scaring. Onda sounds. Tied to Takata coat, guarded by 5 of the criminal. To the Metropolitan Police Department in that car. Brought in as the was he found or go. However, policeman's rope of the policeman. At least in human leopard. A little it's too weak. Onda with great force to the arms. And do down. Was Chima, Hut Putsuri. Is it I? But was when the vehicle is approaching to the lonely place next to the reservoir. That my surprisingly criminaless has been jumped to say that up. The human leopard became free to would be 5 people but would be 6 people. But it because there is no enemy dang. And Yatsu's and us did not have a missile sadly. Therefore, the criminaless be in a terrible eye. It had been flung from the vehicle to a man. Quote. Well, Onda as I did fled to steer the car. That's right, I ran away in a really good mood. But at that time, where did I welcome? That's me. That Kogoro Akechi. When the I deliver the onda in the forest to the criminal us. Mean at this time went out to look for the father of onda. Mr. Fumio is a strange face. Stared at intently and speaker. Dentures of blame and high-end. Tonight Akechi is. There was no way to think somehow as others. And this strange Hanashibori will what's up. Say I that Akechi your Kogoro. But he is not a person to this kind of affectation of words always. Then, I say if you have the better of onda. Akechi was quite talkative. I have in the car. I ran to Shibora. Tap iron pipe yard of Shibora. Is the dimensions that no matter awaits the father of onda. Therefore, parents and children in consultation. And to have a letter to one of the lumpen. I mean I of Akechi. It was tourist to the place where the well, it's you. At that time, it is I have been hanging around in front of him. If so, and I surely thought that comes to looking for the father of onda. I'm in disguise in onda. Work the guy scapegoat I because I was. However, do not that funny. You were onda knew perfectly this stratagem. When caught onda, I because mon that I was slipping with a mouth. Quote. 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 Mr. Fumio could not shoot any more Gatsuchi. Fear, not may the enigmatic something is, like looming in the spine, could not be hamstrung. I'm in the guidance of the lumpen. Shibora went out to the landfill. Akechi guy, probably about this time, it would be to have become a captive of the lumpenness in that iron pipe. Why me? A scorbulda? Tooted the iron pipe to roost. Even 30. Because I have the lump in that person human. If you find a leopard, I sense my put more than just. Speaker. The where also ugliness kai face protrude would new. Laughed a thin slightly worse foo. Who? You or who? Mr. Fumio is turned pale. Was staring at this strange person. Not even heard that anyone is. If this is not Akechi himself. It has been determined a guy of another person. It has been determined a human leopard onda. Foo, not anyone. It's your cute husband's your husband. While he said foo, Shiku stood up. Nah, sorry. I have been approached to Fumio's. Oh, why did not notice it until now? If disguise of Akechi, not supposed to shine is so or both eyes of the monster is not burning as if it were blue flame. It brought to his joyoku. If not the flame goes oki, burning moment to moment. Mr. Fumio is, because from now on is numbness. Summon up the last of force. Rises a quick, missing diving under the devil's hand. I went out into the corridor. Kobayashi-san, someone come early. But oddly enough, it is in the inner and silent with a scene. No one did not answer those. Kobayashi. Oh, I wonder if that boy. I'm there to maid room. I'll take you. Monster. Step by step quickly Fumio's after. While hugged her with terrible force. Went forced down the stairs. Now, see, but good. Kobayashi also made it has become with that state. Carefully Nemi. He opened the door of the maid room. Was a glimpse of a medium to Fumio's. If you look, as he says, they are those of two people. At length on the floor. Lying fainted, of course is the effect of the devil of the anesthetic agent. Mr. Fumio tried to scream. I tried to find the neighborhood of salvation screaming. But, imperceptibly, I had become dumb. Palm of monsters. Over the tightened muzzles. Were unable to think even breathing. Korokor. So not it be this struggling. I because it is a good girl. I because I'll be easier to now. Onda remains tightens Fumio. It was freely to handle even like dolls. Yulam going to be in the doll. Look, here just a doll box is placed. This time down here is made to you as your doll's scapegoat. Then, I upstairs the signal from the window up. I holler in accordance with the signal is wrapped to receive this box. Because holler is. In other words, it has some my minions. Then with the track, the previous carry on. Come on. Where's I wax? try to hit you good. Quote, Onda is made on the other ecstasy. Were flyers talking, and the joy that has acquired the desired product was engrossed in the beauty of the acquisition of means. A trick that bitter enemy a catchy detective was prepared squeeze the wisdom. It completely use reverses it is. Disguise of a catchy, nor mannequin dolls, even the crates. It will be what well nice retaliation means. Mr. Fumio was not a weak woman about to faint. Sorada Kenny. The insult struck one time's violently mind. It could not be how to say downright unexpected of trembling jerky and relatives to information of disgust. Beast of body odor. Beast of breath. The beast of muscle strength. She felt the truth of the leopard. There was a beast of a face on her face. Langling and blue light to the eye. Red lips were numinous. Sharp fangs that peek from between the taken close up enough to be surprised. One was closing in on the distance of the toucan. She is the red lips. Saw the opening and biting into like a tunnel. Then, a huge tongue out of the dark tunnel appeared with the tongue up. Oh, the tongue. She saw vividly. On the surface of the dose black tongue. Sharp protrusions, such as if the needle of the mountains. And lush grow to one side, as it is of the tongue movement. Similar to the reeds rustling in the wind. That the fluttering and sassa, black thread, coffin like a big wooden box in the corner of the dimly lit corridor is put. A catchy is it a box of life-size doll of examples of purchases in order to deceive the Onda. In it, now it is not a doll. Beautiful Fumio who have lost their sanity to the anesthetic. Lying, human leopard, while covered in soon the lid of the wooden box from above it. And the shipna misery. I murmured as each alone. When doing so, ho ho, you're like a doll look alike. Beautiful doll me, but Chido just cramped. I for a while see got to put up with. Now, I went to one of my, to cherish like a princess I because all, oof. Then, when the pattern in the lid, to collect the rope that had cluttered near the box, was wound round and round from the top of the lid. After his yobier the minions of two people who are waiting in the dark of the table. I just katsugidasu the doll box. Onda is for the signal to those of its minions. And began to walk toward the front door. 2. Was stopped and hash out before it go to triple step. It loud phone bell that resounds to the entire home. Such as vacant. He involuntarily to the defensive. Had spoofing a while ear. And can be seen with the phones. And tut and check. Tried to dosso to walk as it is. But, eventually human beings, he got cunning laugh ugly face of the leopard. In both eyes. Which gives off a phosphorescent becomes thin as thread. And red lips turned up in Stevenage. White double tooth that looks like fangs. Was excluded from the corner glanced. He was the right maigre remains of the strange facial expressions. It went enter to determinedly and study. Then, when hold the bottom of the desk phone, remove the suddenly handset, was held against the thin earlobe to twitch like a beast. Hello, it's me. You are who die. Kobayashi-kun whether it is me. Called a voice. Called the wording. Narishi of the phone was not the difference in Kogoro Akechi. Knowing it, to listen in something pleasant music both eyes of Onda. It went has been narrowed further and further. Moshi, Kobayashi paddle not at you. I'm a hurry errands. What are you linger? Are you there is not a catchy office. A catchy state in which a frustrated detective seems visible. Hello, it is not. This ISM a catchy office. However, I now Kobayashi-kun there is little hindrance. Onda is answered with feigned voice. It looks that fun and irresistible. If you're not a Kobayashi, you is anyone on earth. A thing of the familiar. I think I do. I know. Well, not the who is. Someone out of things. Indeed, a catchy is also the phone of the other party is a state which is not noticed by the human leopard. However, we do also not. For example, I what is? Anyone I not in this late at night? It's right. Kobayashi-kun guess a kitchen. Though in bed soundly along with the maid. It does not occur no matter how caused. His wife is gone entered into the doll box. It does not come out. As remove the dojimo, voice of Akechi is interrupted for a while. Hello, did you weather nasu? You'd say teacher Akechi, only put out the dose black tongue, was turning licking and lips. It is the climax of the beast's good. Lol, you are that's onda you. I thought someone. Once onda kun's just blessed. I wonder if the work is going well towards you. Voice of Akechi has become bubbly as a suddenly. It's great, truly is Akechi teacher. Hey not budge. By the way, have I caught you a little while ago? I wonder why seen are you here? Quote, is the criminal gentleman of the convoy that he stepped on the clunkar. Japan is the police. I do not accustomed to the beast of Torimo no. Iz was about to meet the terrible I thanks. I look with you is also good pretty head. Or towards the fathers. In between the ufufufu. Tosa. We had completely realized it me our conspiracy. I great. But, hey we're needed well alive. Either did not meet the terrible eyes Shibora. There was a terrible eyes. I was somewhere in the lumpen. Is the only I was the sights of it. Lol. Then, we were well escape even those of you hey. Hey I'm glad unharmed each other. Erf. And, with this kataya of the murderer and the detective, align the voice on the phone outlet. It was of each other laugh or else interesting. Looking at the place to come make a phone call, USA distant place. Would be near Shibora. Human beings, Leopard is bent wickedly hin, a red numinum lips teased a kind strange accent. That's right, S public telephone of Shibora. Oofufufufu. Z I'm really funny. The detectives. You are now frustrated. Hey are flowing Aberos from the forehead. Look seem see. Where it picked up a circle talk who. Try not much hurry standing. It takes 20 minutes so far. I do make a phone caller to the police. But, in Fudume hurriedly policeman who. Even as a skip rags automobile. Z taken up from the escorbe. However, my person is called when. You can be rid of your empty home some 30 seconds. Work it because of completely finished. Quote, as a little while ago also you said, you're hired as the thugs detective Kobayashi and maid, between the plates of the kitchen, to sleeping good friends, your wife. You know, I box of examples of dolls. Of that box sleeping soundly what good night in the middle. Are waiting is my track in the table. Third again Fumio's boxed. Is of such mean I try to say farewell. Although you Tom Chido just feel sorry. Tonight, with a beautiful wife, am out of the eaves as long as it. You I seem to despise the power of as my detective. Voice of Akechi is paying calm badly. I did not even tinged with embarrassment of the tone a little. Yes, I have contempt. Nanti is stolen care of his wife to the habit of the detective. I think that good to look down. However, such a thing as I do not Akiko. You've been dreaming. You or I do not know the power of my true kind of dignity that was full of some kind confidence in the voice of the telephone was felt. There was a tone that is something the onda and scaring. Oofufufufufu. You are still. I'm talking sour grapes. Such a howl Nanzo. Not palm standing in what the role. Hey, you. It is also why I forever. Or not you have settled on whether the nay. Idiot can see if they hit this kind of twaddle. Is not NC now a man that is about to be stolen wife you? Or scared paddles not? I believe what now? I'm my understood by you. Damn Sue. Set hey what difference? Do I have to do something crafted before you make a call here? Policer? Whether the phone to the police or over. Ha. University. Might be you. Police brays a little scared. Even more different it may be. In any case, Yuli was addicted to my end of the trap. Lol. You. Barry Carrot seems to have hung on. Breathing can be heard up to here. Shut up. I'm not a ride in something of Otakashi difference. Well here the Pearl River. Shogun not tout angry by. I guess. In this way to while talking pleasantly with you. Even I'm as good was discovered you guys parent and child of the den. Black thread as I. Black is not visible to the eye, thread is I. I'm not away entangled in your body like a spider web. Anywhere up to, as far as you go of you, I the thread will lead. Onda was looked around it in a listen, and look around involuntarily around the body with a funny face. Really, the thread of such spider came down somewhere ceiling of smooth stop from the corner, such as those wrapped around round and round in his body. Began attacked by a strangely bookimy feel. There is no time to have heard the other muttering of the upper difference. So Obeo, his wife was charged certainly. Well wait Pearl River. Lol lol. Do not a good to Naku, hurry so. Lol lol. I'm still there is a story. I've got oodles there's a story. Lol lol. Also gone over the slam in the handset. Bookimy laughter of the detective did not leave for the ear, as he dispelled the mystics. Not visible to the eye. I stood up in Brunswick in one shudder. Hadn't whether they think the Nanzo ghost stories and scared. Sharp I began to emit a severe phosphorescence. He went out to the hallway in the gate of the beast then. Suddenly, like a small shadow something is to disappear on the other side of the smooth stop and the corridor was felt. Since the electric light is only attached to the person of the front door which has been one, the per badly dim of it, but of the form that might have something enigmatic the inside of the Usayami is, have passed away as the assailant. There was also human-like, also appeared in such as not the case. Silhouette did not might, under the front door of the electric lamp with someone through, that it would be its shadow is reflected. But take a look from the corner on the fly. There is no sign of life. Something like a big bat's was the feeling that flew away down the hallway of the floor to grazing. Onda did not have to not panic. It not was afraid of ghost stories. I felt the danger of affairs. If the silhouette was feel like omen of Kyoji around one another, this might have been surrounded by policemen. Shadow of that person at all might have felt up to the corridor. In Leopard quiet he is do sneak and pray, and get off jumps to the entrance of the dirt floor. Open the entrance of the door to cautiously details. With glowing blue eyes, it was turning carefully look at the darkness outside. But, as to the thing it is hot. Also implantation. Also a temple of the road. Also unexpected seen anything of suspicious signs. So, he is the whistle of the signal. It blew too was voice low. From shortly towards the gate, to black empty, it has entered the Nasanoso. It is a fude such as laborer of the holler. I would table all right. Nobody I would not palm tree. Onda ask in whisper. Hey child one animal Toriyashi of cat. Hey terribly dismal town. To say how much it's the middle of the night. This loneliness is hell. Hey, just in case, or do not you keep saying that it? A man, meaning Harry whisper something. This fella also began ya wanted to say dat your fault of the gas if not a timid guy. Hey, what you're saying boso. What if there was no? When the Onda is Kametsukeru, the man who is said to be coward, while loincloth seen restlessly the darkness per reported that's strange. It somehow those small shadow laga was reluctant to wandering around the track. A small whiff of only do not snack at all. Silhouette Matia Dwarf Island. Somehow, such as an anti-zoo. A bad thing I did it? Master. Do not care, you bastard. Or tonight I'm somehow. Then that, does not is not we Hakabeat also the early luggage. The laborer, two of the body. But he a driver of ex-offenders. While know that it has bought a majority something criminal. Is blinded the eye to the huge honoraria. Been hired to minions of Onda of as long as one night where are you? Yeah, me early. Luggage am in this corridor, real little heavy stuff. Onda approached the doll box standing ahead. This is it, so as not to be too violently, because valuables. Oh my god, it is like a coffin mitty. It's doll box. I'm entered as important doll. Come on, me carrying early. Two men. The chance that lifting the wooden box. Onda was peep open along the kitchen door. There is no abnormality even a little. Kobayashi boy also made also. sleeping and tired at the same figure. The best Kobayashi boy has been embraced. Fumio's look-alike mannequin doll, by bending the body into two, are lying with his neck to cooking under the base. Keep in mind he is while monitoring the two men go carrying the doll box. I went out to the Y. A single of the track off the headlight is stopped at the bottom of the darkness, and would put the luggage. Two men went to the cab. Onda was crouched in a box of no lid along with the doll box. When I think that if the engine has resounded, Keta Tamashii could house the town late at night. This strange kidnapping car went away, a temple of quickly a catchy detective agency. After all, it had nothing happened. Policeman, we did not meet the deadline. However, the little anxious, wandering the corridor, that was wandering around the track, but was suspicious silhouette of example. It is also in this way as nothing to it once you started running car. By chance that it would be silhouette is hanging on the side. Tried to carefully examine around the track, but was not discovered course anything. Onda was barely felt the relief. Finally I won. Beautiful Fumio's completely became a thing of me. He is the top of the swaying track, while it takes the beloved doll box. Narrowed the leopard eye, opened sloppy the mouth of the leopard. It was the laugh of the beasts, such as chilling. Then phone a little while ago of Akechi is. Will did not merely Odakashi, named Detective Will had gone down now to one of the ghost story teacher. No, not the case. Either is evidence otherwise. The best Akechi said that the black thread, black yarn, said the unexpected away entangled in Onda. The black ones, such as yarn, behold, from now Onda of the track of the tail. Are they not pull the little things to streaks on the road of the dark night? From around the bottom of the red taillight. Or not, there are things that have been paid out to incessantly ground like a spider thread. But Onda on the car, of course, did not know it, even as did the eye to that part though got out of the car. In the dark night, the one yarn and muscle of spider defunct also that there is. In the squid leopard eye, to could not hardly see divide, it must so thin, so black, something vague, a bukimi, was a devilish thread, devil of a track. Choose as much as possible lonely residential area. Was left to the north of Tokyo late at night to the north. It made a wall figure defunct eye, while flying through the air of darkness, taking a moderate interval, trying to try with a trace of this bizarre track. 5 minutes. Enough. 20 minutes. The car continued to run. Not even everything. Onda is still leaning against the doll box. Not be stuck like one black mass. Even though the middle of the night, there is occasionally pass each other people, but they were not things like wonder. Also do not track this seemingly with a strange iron, but was only without a number before the alternation of the red electric lamps. Policeman who is not also known to pass through the front of the eye is horrible murder car. It was facing everyone turned away. Eventually, when the car was running a lonely mode and close to the Kudan, our appearance defunct eye, on the front of the car, it had witnessed a really horrible Chinji, black figure. The Onda has become a kneeling position on the car. It began to move the partition in hand. I wonder is what exactly was. Let's close the little eye. Then, as between the car is enough between the three. Ah, it was found. But he no longer wait. It became want to see the lover in the box. He has solved the rope of the doll box. And peek a medium open the lid. It is crowded looking for a long time. Oh, but what's that going to? Human leopard is not just Akiokoshi the Fumio who have fainted from inside the box. I stood up just as the Suke suffer from a Fumio's under his arm. Human and fearless black shadow of the leopard. White appearance of Fumio who is hanging and tired around the waist was confronted on top of the car to run like arrows. It emerged to light and dark two-color. Then suddenly, it happened to be really horrible. Whether the beast has been exposed to the wild, or here will the mind had different. Fumio's neck was felt and whether the growth and smooth stop so that even in the candy Former night. Over the hand to the upper jaw and lower jaw of a vicious dog. Idiot force tore in two. But now, he was torn off her neck. It was a spectacle such as the bizarre illusion or nightmare, while seen as a hash. It flew white meteor in an arc into the empty darkness. The neck onda is that torn off. Like a throwing ball of the devil of the country. He was suddenly thrown out to the outside of the car. Beast was furious, blowing the foam from the mouth. Terrible growl have even heard. He's not to place is not in shreds the prey. Hand to the next of the neck is feet. In the cruelty that cannot imagine. Went torn off one after another. And those beautiful Hichitsu torn corpse. Like a radish or nanzo. Insensitively. Outrageously. Yea, rather this behold as was thrown away to the moat end of the darkness. Mike and Sherlock, Metropolitan Police Department Investigation 1 Section Chief Sunikawa Inspector, was just caused beating near Ibana. Back from office, playing a boy, and the reading just a little, was only just with it just sleeping, was caused beating is Kogoro Akechi. He pops out a public telephone of Shibora. The middle of rush at home picking up a taxi. Hit the Sunikawa's house falls on its path. Human beings, it was begging the assistance of Leopard arrest. Sunikawa Mr. Happened course splashed kicking the floor. And, this business is also the enemy. From the private detective is also a close friend. And here's the circumstance of thing, because he was familiar with the plan of Akechi of tonight. That his ugliness Kai in disguise of human leopard, it was not surprised, immediately make a phone call to the central government office. Select a masterful detective, and I have commanded to express to Akechi Detective Agency. And wear quickly uniforms. Were passenger directly to the taxi of Akechi. Oh, Pearl River me wait a minute. Your house of Sherlock also let's put together. Comes guys I need. Akechi is shouted to stop the car to try to departure. Okay, you is allowed to take a Sherlock. Sunikawa Mr. without cross-examination with one toko. Was left but say Akechi. Speaking this detective is that it is necessary. It has been determined a need. Pull out the shepherd of one head soon Sunikawa Mrs. Tezugara. It was put on the car. Mike and Sherlock is also not making noise a little bit. In omemoji of tension in the premonition of something. Crouching in between the knees of his master Sunikawa Inspector. Sherlock is on sharp as born sense of smell. In response to the charge of Sunikawa Mr. It has been finished to a detective dog worthy of the name. Up to now, it was not Aisai that made a take credit to help the police inspector. You as bring out, such as the paddle. Sherlock's wearing something expected. When the car starts to run, Mr. Sunikawa was finally asked it. Yeah, do not stand or not this dog is useful. It's a fork in the road of my destiny. If Sherlock you were unnecessary. It's horrible. Akechi is smiling anxiety of color that cannot be nameless. It is like a thing which does not withstand the anxiety. As speak even now. But had heard a big mouth to him on the phone. I do not mean there are certain beliefs. I'm just one of the vain hope. Oh, if there is even me was doing well I do say even as had been concealed die. Ambush anyone's gonna be there. Sunikawa Mr. Reflective listening and cannot press the meaning of the other party. Oh, say even 3 minutes. No 2 minutes. I wish after me followed the guy of breath at least 2 minutes. Hey, Sunikawa-kun. I wonder if human breath I think that followed more than 2 minutes. I started to say that that's strange. Z's your habit. Followed about 2 minutes human beings are of. Something might be followed by even double that. But, that's very bad for ordinary urbanites. That 30 seconds suspicious mons. There's my put eyes. It's 2 minutes into the urbanites would also be if Terra followed guy purchase of breath. Some do not you do may be useful large strange in the case. Do you know that kind of man? Yeah, I know I'm. It alone with detective got in fell silent. Since Sunikawa Mr. even know the habits of the other party. I did not even try to ask him deeply. Soon, the two abandoned car and Temple of Akechi detective office walked to the unpopular his vacant indoor guy of Sherlock Z. It looks after all you can see as the smell of crime has caught badly. While Sunikawa he said such a thing. He took off his shoes by connecting the dog to the front door of the pillars. Akechi is allowed to wait downstairs Mr. Sunikawa, and went around looking at the second floor of the room, but came down in vain. Police inspector in the meantime is worked the guy that sixth sense of example. Quickly also of the corridor back of the was drunk sneak to the kitchen, looking to open the door to the details. There, Kobayashi boy, Mr. Maid. It is up to a mannequin. It is lying in a strange dress. Hey, you, it is here. To Sunikawa's voice, Akechi also came to the kitchen. Oh, are you in a scorbate is either not a wife. His wife did not been kidnapped. He pointed to the mannequin that plunged the neck to cooking under the base. Crowded think of it as Fumio's. But Akechi was not far from it. They crowded Kagami on top of the fallen Kobayashi boy, staring at the face to very hard, as remembrance or something, staring without even blinking. Then, whether the psychokinesis of Akechi is through, the boy's eyes open thin and narrow, covered with long eyelashes, and the eye of Akechi was signed seen as mutually explore each other. If usually familiar, there is no reason that time-consuming so much was to be seen in one in the eye. But readers also know as Akechi this time is still, he did not wash off the makeup of the human leopard. Up, sir, quote, at last it was found it? Kobayashi boy stood up and cried Zama Pyokan. Ah, the man who had fainted until now. I wonder what can suddenly such kapatsu operation. Looking at it, also on the cheek that had been closed in the anxiety of the detective, I climbed the color of quick and joy. Oh, Kobayashi-kun was. Well done. Akechi is go-jumping to stand-up boy. Such as those which is not withstand to thank. Embrace the shoulders. Clenched his hand. It's a place of a parent-child reunion like. Hell is this such not happening? Sunikawa Mr. S taken aback. No, I've got my expectations were hit. I'm the Pearl River me and never tell a lie. Willing. The other Fumio's safe. Stood also expected to capture the Onda. Sherlock did not become waste. To be continued. Thank you for your viewing. If you like, please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.